Good morning, good morning. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Msjjdiamond, Jackie Dejah, whatever y'all call me. Oh, I'm so tired today, guys. I had some work to do last night. I'm so sorry I'm late. I had some work to do. And I stayed up late and my body just wouldn't let me get up. However, I'm back here with y'all today. First, I want to thank God for letting us live another day. I'm not doing Instagram today because I'm tired of them holding my posts. They've been holding my posts and not allowing people to see the posts. And I know for a fact, they want me to pay and I'm not doing it. I refuse. I'm not paying for people to see my face. I'm not doing that because people see my face every day in the street. People see my face when they download my music. When I do get on live, people see my face. So I'm not going to be dedicating myself to that, but I will continue to dedicate myself on this end. What I am paying for, I'm not paying a whole lot, but I am paying to give y'all the information. So this is where I will be dedicating my time. A lot of these companies want to take advantage of people, and I see it. I'm from the old school, so excuse me, being from the old school, it plays a big part in a lot of things that go on today. People don't realize when you've been on this earth for 5 decades, you've seen transformation in the world, transformation in the way things are done and how businesses are developed. You see these things and you know the rights and the wrongs. You know what I mean? You can pick up on it very quick. And this is why a lot of the older people are saying, like, I don't want to be bothered with certain things because of how they do, Only one I can really say that I mess with like that for real is TikTok. TikTok, they give everybody a chance, to get on that For You page, and especially when you're a positive person and get your message out, or get you out, So with that being said, I'm on my podcast, sweetie.
Oh, sorry.
You can close my door. I'll talk to you shortly. This is what they do, they want to make it seem as you have to have all these likes in order to survive the social media offset life. However, it's just not true, and I'm not going to continue to keep subjecting myself to the nonsense, it's bad when they have the politicians running through social media, acting a fool on social media, when that was something that never existed. We respected the politicians. We don't respect the politicians anymore. You know what I mean? What is this world coming to? I see a new world order coming shortly. I don't know what y'all see, but that's what I see, because we have no order. These companies are just doing whatever they want to do to people, and it's just not fair. So yeah, I see a new world order coming, and when that new world order come, y'all just better be ready. And this is why I get on here every day, because a lot of people are not ready. Well, today the weather is kind of cloudy again. Yesterday I was working. It was raining a little bit. It wasn't raining too bad, but it was drizzly. And I hate the drizzly type of weather. It makes you real sleepy when you're out there. And I was out there working, so I got a little taste of it. But today it looks the same. It's something we can do. It's God's choice. We just have to live with it. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day today, even though it's dreary and rainy here in Charlotte. We're going to get back to talking about becoming an activist. I was running down to y'all, how I got started. And it wasn't something that I woke up and said I want to become. I'm going to be honest with you. I never woke up saying I'm going to become an activist. I'm going to help the people. I'm going to stand for the people. I never woke up saying that. It just happened. And one of the reasons being is because of my family, who they are, who they were, what they stood for in the communities. And they told me, like, if you're going to be out there with them, you need to teach, you need to show them something, you know what I mean? So this is where I had to decide on what I want to do and how I want to do it, So we were still talking about Buffalo, New York. I love Buffalo. I miss Buffalo. I felt the need when I was there, when I seen a lot of kids, come to me and tell me their stories, what's going on in their lives, and it's something that I had experienced when I had went to California, y'all, and I'm gonna go back to Buffalo in a minute. And I couldn't understand why the kids would come to me. They would come and they would just tell me all their problems, like they knew. And this is before I even made my life public about what happened with me and my little brother. Um, Kids always came to me like they can see, that I will understand how they felt about certain situations. And I just couldn't understand why. Now, when I went to California, I went to get something to eat one day. I'll never forget this day when I was in California. I was in Inglewood, and I went to order me some food, and this baby kept staring at me. And I was like, I say hi, because, I love the babies. So I said, hi. So the father got up with the baby, and it's crazy how I forgot about it, because what reminded me about it was one of my people today got on Facebook with his baby, and it reminded me, the way he was holding her, it reminded me of this situation, So I said, I think I'll bring this on the podcast today. So he got up and he came to my table, and he stood there and he looked at me and he said, you have a glow. And I said, what do you mean? He said, I watched my baby. She couldn't take her eyes off you. And I was like, okay. I said, the babies know I love them. And she was like, well, he said, how? I said, I don't know. He said, you got a glow. He said, it's like you're an angel, And I said, well, I don't know, I'm just here. But I said, I love the babies, and it kind of scared me, people, when he was telling me all these things, but God don't make mistakes when people come to you and tell you certain things, and he just kept standing there until I had to say, excuse me, and get up, and I walked towards the bathroom, and I pretty much, me and the girl I was with, me and her, we left. And I said, that was scary, wasn't it? She was like, yeah. She was like, I don't know. She said, and you talking about moving to California, and you got this guy standing over you talking about you glowing and all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah. So I didn't know what he meant, you know what I mean? Until I physically came back out into the communities again, and like I said, people take to me, they're comfortable with me, and this is, like I said, this is before I decided to come in the music industry. I was just doing a regular thing on Facebook like everybody else. Went over to California to see some things before I decided to, because anytime I get into something, I always make that run, meaning the run to see what I need to do to get into a certain business and what routes I need to take. And that was that run before I got started, because I started Private Friend Incorporated, and I was in February, and then I went to started Private Friend Incorporated in November. I went to California in February, and then I started Private Friend LLC. I found out what was more needed versus the LLC wasn't needed as much as the incorporation nonprofit was needed. So that's why I wound up changing it, because I was, making my runs and seeing what was out here and what was needed in different states, Getting back to Buffalo, I just wanted to throw that out there, because he just made me think about it, So I just wanted to throw it out there. Going back to Buffalo. So a lot of the kids, they would come to me and, they would confide in me, and they would tell me what's going on in their lives. And a lot of them was going through it, and with their families. Because a lot of the people were on drugs, back when I was young, the parents. And that was one of my issues, that I had to deal with. So it became a common issue. It was like, okay, your parents on drugs, okay, you know, but it still never helped the children's well being, and that's when I told myself when I was in Buffalo that I needed to help these kids because they kept coming, and now, there was even families that wasn't on drugs. The parents just didn't have money to take care of them, or, just didn't have the mental state to take care of them, and that plays a big part too, because there's parents that sit at home all day and don't even have the mental state to make their kids do what's right, so that also plays a part, and that's one of the reasons why I started what I started, getting the kids out, letting them have fun other than being stuck in the house or being stuck in misery at home, because you never know what a child is going through behind closed doors, and I live by that because I was one that would go home from school and school would be worse home would be worse than being at school, so y'all read that in the book. So, it takes a lot of work, people. It's not, getting up every day making videos. It's not standing on corners. It's not, you have to connect with the people, you really have to connect with the people. You have to be able to understand what they're going through and give them a way out, We all have our demons. We all have our, and I talked about this yesterday about sinning, We all have our things that we continue to sin in. And there's a lot of commands in the Bible, and it's not easy for people. And then when you have kids that's living in sin, total sin, it's harder on them because this is all they know. So this is where the activists come in and, try to tell them there's another way. You don't have to be like this. You can be like this. But you don't physically tell them, because your parents ain't on drugs, your parents is on drugs, or because your father's a no good father, you don't need to be like that. We don't handle it like that. We never down people. We fit in where we belong, We make the kid feel like there is a difference. There's someone that they can look up to, People are really messing up what public figures and activists do, and this is why a lot of activists from back in my time don't come out anymore, because y'all have destroyed what activism really is, after they put in all this work, and then here y'all all get on social media and get a million likes, and y'all being called out to speak, and y'all talking about nothing. You know what I mean? So, and that's just the way I see it, and I'm just giving it to y'all the way I see it. If you notice, a lot of the activists don't come out. Look at Reverend R. Sharpton. He don't come out no more. Only time he came out was for George Floyd's funeral. And that's sad because we need him. You know why we need Reverend R. Sharpton? Because he lived a lot of decades and he could tell us about the transformation. See, I always deal with the elders because, and listen to the elders. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to either talk about Farrakhan. That's another one, I love. Even though I'm not Muslim, but I still love to hear him speak, These people has been here, through decades and decades of transformation of what's going on in the public. And they can give a lot of insight on the things that used to go on in the public and the things that go on in the public now. And this is why they don't speak too much anymore. It's not that they don't want to. They feel like it's worthless, But sometimes they do get out there and, because they say, oh, okay, I got to go out there because I'm still an activist. I'm still a part of this thing, So I got to try to stay active a little bit, But they used to be active on a regular basis, and they don't even want to teach anymore. And that's sad, and this is what social media has done to these people. And I was looking at Neo on Instagram, and he had some issues with Instagram cutting him off because they was playing Teddy Riley's music. And this is what social media is doing to the population and to the communities. They don't realize how they're destroying the communities. They're destroying great people. Neo had made a statement, and I'm always getting angry too, how I can post my music, and because my music is copywritten, they would take my music off, and I'm posting it myself. I am the owner, the copywritten owner of the particular music, and they will not play my music. You got to be kidding me. It's my voice. I made it, produced it, and you won't play my music. You know what I mean? So that's what he was going on with. And it's sad that these big celebrity stars got to go through this stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know who I am. So why is it I can't play my music to market to the people where I have no other way to make any money right now but by them going streaming my songs? Why would you do that to me? You know what I mean? It's just hateful, And I mean, this is not about social media, but this is why the activists and the music artists and DJs and stuff, they're getting tired. We're getting tired, and they're going to see eventually, right now, they don't understand what's going on. The politicians, because they're so caught up in this election. But they're going to see after the election, how they're going to be downed because they're not on social media. They're not posting. They're not, top line news the same way Trump did. That's why Trump would put a tweet out there every day, even if he had to make it funny. You know what I mean? Because if you're not on social media, they feel like you die in the community. You know what I'm saying? And it's not fair. It's not fair, to the people, to the politicians, to the activists, to all the people that has built from the ground decades ago, So this is why a lot of the activists don't even participate that much anymore. You may see some of the activists participate once a month, every 6 months, and it's sad, y'all. It's real sad what we're going through. But getting back to becoming an activist. Now, if you notice, I threw out Reverend Al Sharpton and Farrakhan. Both of them are into religion. You know what I mean? And you have the people, and I talked about that yesterday, those that's into religion. They're the top of the line activists, because they deal not only with God, the faith of God, they deal with the community as a whole. So they're at the top of the ladder, which that's the next step for me, but like I told y'all yesterday, I'm not ready. I got I gotta first learn how, and it's a learning process, y'all. It's a serious learning process. That's why I told you this is not something that you can do overnight. I've been in this game for 30 years, and here I'm still not at the top of the ladder. So don't think that you can wake up and get on social media and you become a full-fledged activist and people know you and know that you can help communities. It doesn't work that way. You have to put your time in, and you have to take them steps up that ladder. You know what I mean? In order for you to get the full respect deserved for the work that you've put in. You know what I mean? It's not something that's done, like I said, overnight, because you on social media. It just doesn't work that way. So yeah, my next step would be we're going to talk a little bit about my next step, and then I'm going to go back to the things that I used to do in Buffalo, and I'm going to try to fit in a little bit when I came to Baltimore, the Baltimore area. My next step is religion, taking it to the full height. Okay. So now I got to decide which religion I'm going into, and I'm going to dedicate and be that community activist for not only the community, but for God as well. I'm still a Christian and I still talk about God and I talk about faith. But when there's people that go through, hey, I'm going through this and, I'm trying to get closer to God, I send them to the minister, the priest, whoever there is that they choose that they want, whatever religion they want to be in. That's where I send them. I say, hey, look at this. Look at this person. You say you doing classes. You trying to read the Bible, whatever the case may be. Here, what I got, a pastor over here, or a minister over here, because I know a lot of them, y'all. Y'all would be surprised. Right on my Facebook, they always watching, and then trying to bring me that next ladder, but I'm just not ready. Because I still say some things and do some things and I ain't supposed to, because people get me angry and I will take it to the ooh. So, and I know some ministers like that as well, that they may not curse and do bad things, but they'll let you to make you feel like you in pure hell if you do the wrong thing and rub them the wrong way. You know what I mean? So, I know it's normal. I'm a human being, but I'm just not ready to guide people in the name of God, and totally. You know what I mean? I can do it part-time and show you guys, and then when y'all ready, y'all can move forward to the next level, of what you want to do with your life, Getting back to Buffalo, the churches, that's why I was talking about the churches, I was big in the church too. A lot of people knew me. A couple of churches in Buffalo, and I would make sure I give them healthy donations. To give to the community and give to the church. To help the church out because we need religion. No matter how many people that's out here doing bad, we need religion. So we must, take care of our pastors. You know what I mean? We got to take care of them. But we ain't saying for him to go out and buy big old mansions and you living in a cot, on a cot somewhere. You know what I mean? Or you living in the trees. So this is why a lot of people pull back from that. But we need them because we need to get that knowledge. And if we don't understand something, we could go to them to help address it. And that's the thing. I will give a lot of events, not a lot, but I told you about the parties and stuff with the kids. And we would even go to other people areas and join their stuff, and that's what helped not only make me bigger, but got me to be able to speak to other children, other teenagers, to see where their minds is at and get the love, from them. When I used to go outside in Buffalo, and I would tell you no lie, everywhere I went, there was somebody, hey, Dejah, and I spoke to them regularly, just like I tell the people here, you don't have to be afraid to speak to me, speak. I'm not that type of person that, I don't want to speak to you, or, I'm not, even though I make music, I'm not like the celebrities, where they turn their nose up and they don't want to speak to you, they don't want to take pictures with you. I'm not like them, you know what I mean? Even though I make music, I will stop and speak to you if I have the time. You know what I mean? I will wave, talk to you. Hey, how you doing? If this is what you choose, you want to, say hello. A lot of the celebrities, they in a whole different realm, and you can't mix the two. You know what I mean? Because we're different people. We help the community. They make music for the communities. So we're in two different realms, people. They're afraid to come out into the community where we're not. So it's two different things. We walk amongst the people, and if we're there to help them mentally, sometimes even financially, we're there. You know what I mean? And that's the difference between us. But I still make music. Buffalo. So I would come outside and, even when I would be on my porch, people would ride past and would bonk the horn all day long, all day long, all day long. I'm sitting on the porch. I knew if I go out there just to stand there, people was going to bonk the horn because I'm on the porch. So they come in and that's to say hello. That's what we do. Bonk the horn and say hello. Sometimes we don't have time to stop and talk. But we letting you know we acknowledge you. You know what I mean? And all day, this is what I got. If I went out to the store, hey, Dejah, hey, that wave, they'll look, that's her. Hey, you know what I mean? And this is what I went through every day of my life, And it became very overwhelming at a point, and I want to tell y'all, being a public figure is not easy. I think it's worse than being a celebrity, because a celebrity, like with entertainment, they can go hide. You can't go hide, because when things happen, guess who they come look for? You. So at one point, I had some issues in my life, so I had to fall back a little bit. And, they would still see me, and thank God that nothing, happened in the community. But I had to wind up coming back to New York. And then when I was ready, I came back to Buffalo. God led me back to Buffalo. And when I got back to Buffalo, I had to do something to let the communities know I was back and I was ready for work. So we had a big event, and that's the event where I was telling y'all the mayor came out, and supported us. Then when I took the kids out into the community to do roller skating and eat and stuff, the mayor also came out and joined us with that, because he wanted to see, how I handled the community, and why I'm loved so, Just like I tell you the story when I met Sugar Ray Leonard. The reason why they sent me to greet Sugar Ray Leonard because I was the activist in the community at the time. So, this is what we do. We are set to go and meet the celebrities, you know what I mean? And I tell people, oh, you're not afraid to meet celebrities? Why would I be afraid to meet celebrities when they come into our community, they have to greet us, And see, and a lot of this has changed, and that's another thing. When the celebrities used to come to my city in Buffalo, they came to greet me. This is how I met a lot of the celebrities. If they didn't come to meet me, they would send tickets so we can be there to, in other words, they honor the work that we've done in the city, and they say, hey, we want you there because you're a part of the city. You can't ask the mayor to come because the mayor ain't going to come. You know what I mean? So the next one is the activists. So they start inviting you out to different events, the gay community. I never looked down on the gay community. I'm use them for right now. I never looked down on the gay community. They was another ones, they was like, well, you have to look pretty, so we're going to fix you up, so that because I've always walked around with sneakers on. I was the Air Max queen, sneakers, or Timberlands, but I was in the community, so it was like, I gotta be ready for war, but then they decided to make me this, how can I say it, this beautiful princess, they wanted me to look a certain way. It was like, okay, if you're going to be out there, you have to look good, So this is when they started putting the dresses and, the makeup on me, and tying me down so I can look, like this perfect model activist, So shout out to them, they play a big part, in Buffalo. They would find me the beautiful dresses. When I go out to the club, they say, oh, you have to go out to the club looking spectacular. You just can't go out and, look in any kind of way, So they would take their time out to make sure that I looked beautiful. I always kept my hair done because I did hair. But when it came to, putting on some makeup and having the body snatched and all of that stuff, they were the ones that led me into that, which helped me get more money. And they knew, you know what I mean? And she looks like this. She's really going to be able to do her job in the communities, and they were right. And I accepted it, so, this is just on a woman's side. Now, that's why I understood people say, oh, why are you putting on makeup, blah, 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 be yourself, blah, blah, blah. And I told them, I said, well, I learned some of these things back in the day. This is not something that I just woke up with watching social media saying, hey, let me throw on makeup and a dress. They taught me, the gay community taught me about this back in the day when I was out there activist, doing activist work, So this would led me back into it. So when y'all see me with the makeup on, the pretty dresses and stuff like that, this is because of what they taught me, not what social media taught me, and like I tell people every day, this is why I was able to sell 500,000 copies without even being on the radio. 50 was so amazed, to see how I made more sales than, because it was 3 copies of that song, and I made more sales than the other 2 copies. So he couldn't understand how. Because I was out here before you. You know what I mean? I was doing work in the communities before you. This is why, and he just didn't understand it, I mean, he heard of me, but he just didn't know what brought forth, these things, And then, of course, there was new fans as well, and some of his fans. People, you have to put your work in. Like I said, I like some of y'all concepts, and the way y'all going about things, however, is the community going to accept it? That's the key. The community has to accept what you're giving off. And when they start saying to you, you just clout chasing, or you out here just to get money from the people and blah, 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 that's when you need to find another way. Okay, now it's time for you to get a job, or, if you don't have sponsors like that, I would say look for sponsors, that's going to continue to help you, or get a job. There's nothing wrong with a public figure working. A lot of public figures own businesses. Some are pastors. Some are employees. It doesn't matter. Because you still got to take care of you, and I heard one say, well, how am I supposed to take care of myself when I'm out here dedicating myself to you? Well, for one, you're dedicating yourself too much. You're supposed to be there when they need you, not when you decide that you want to get up and go out and be a public figure for the people, and every now and again, you bring everybody together, and that's the way it works, so that's why I felt the need, because I saw somebody being under distress, an activist being under distress, and I love his work. I love what he's doing, you know what I mean? However, does the community love what you're doing? That's the key, So now you have to decide what you're going to do. Are you going to be in the entertainment business, or are you going to be a full-fledged activist? Are you going to do both? If you're going to do both, then push your entertainment, and that's why, like I said, I'm going in to give this advice to the people that I see that can really make it and have the voice for it, but they have a lot of haters. And being an activist doesn't come with that much hate. It comes with love. So you're going in the wrong direction. Okay? And see, this is what you might have 1 or 2 that don't like your power. You know what I mean? But majority, it comes with love. You have more love than hate. So if you're dealing with a lot of hate, you're doing things wrong. Okay? And that's just what it is, because I tell people every day, God is a loving God. They got this thing, I need you to hate. I need you to hate in order for me to be who I am. No, I don't need you to hate. I need you to love me, because we create leaders, not followers. And that's the difference between being a public figure and being a celebrity. So you gotta know the two, know what you're doing here, know who you want to be. You know what I mean? This is why I don't care about getting on social media, because in the entertainment business, they're going to keep me alive regardless. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to keep me alive as a public figure regardless on the street, because this is where I do my work. You know what I mean? So they can hide my posts. They can make it seem like people are hating me, but they're destroying that for themselves, because when the New World Order come in, we're not going to need them no longer. Okay? So this is where you have to decide how you want to go with this. Do you want to go into the struggle of the entertainment, or do you want to be a public figure and help the people? Not saying being in being in the entertainment business is not real. It is, and you can make money from it, and on social media, social media plays a big part. However, being a public figure, social media is something we don't want to even involve ourselves in when we're trying to deal with the love of the people and helping the people. Because when people are going through things, don't nobody want to jump on social media. I mean, even though they got people doing it and putting their lives out there, but don't nobody really want to be on social media when the community is under distress? So you got to think about that. You know what I mean? Don't nobody want the world to know that their community, their physical community is under distress. Like the cops will come over here. We have sometime, when they're going through and looking for people, and it could be people that ran into our community. And I will record it sometime, and I will put it on social media. And I say, now, why did I do that? Because this dude came into our community. I had to think. So I'm not even putting that type of stuff on social media anymore. They're trying to make me this celebrity, on the entertainment side, but in actuality, I'm a public figure, so I'm embarrassing myself. I have to find a medium. You understand what I'm saying? So think about what you're doing before you do it. Yeah, my people know I'm into music, but they also know I'll get out and go to work. This music don't help pay when I have barbecues and I feed the community. Or some of my guys outside, they hungry and I'm coming in my house and I'm getting food out my refrigerator. Or somebody calls the 611 number and they need food. Okay? And they come and get food. None of that plays a part with the music. And the music don't pay for that. You understand what I'm saying? So think about what you want to do and how you want to do it. I want to tell you a little bit about Baltimore before this podcasting. And then tomorrow I'll get on and let y'all know about the rest in Baltimore and now here in Charlotte. Baltimore. I love Baltimore. Wait a minute. I got to say it right, y'all. Baltimore. I love Baltimore. Because I was always saying it wrong. I'm saying it with the New York accent, but I'm going to say it with the Baltimore accent, Baltimore. The people in Baltimore they are so loving and kind, even though, there's a lot of murders or whatever. But I found a lot of love for Baltimore, and I worked in Baltimore for 6 years, and I've seen some things that I didn't like, and I've seen some things that I loved, but overall the people are good people and kind, it's just they live in situations, When I used to work, and I tell you I worked at Frito, I would make decent money sometimes, especially during football season. Football season plays a big part in chips, and we make good money around football season and Super Bowl season. So, I would make all this extra money and I get these fat checks. And I say, you know what? I'm going to give back. They don't know that I'm a public figure, but I'm going to give back, So when I see the kids, I'll give them some money sometime. They're struggling because their parents are on drugs and, they can't get nothing to eat. So, this is what I would do. I would give back, And the reason being is because they needed it. It's not that they didn't need it. Even though I didn't get to talk to them or, hear their stories, I would just see them sitting by themselves. And that's the one thing about Baltimore. When you can tell when a person is going through something because they'd be sitting by themselves. They'd just be sitting there, with their head down, and it's just a way they do things. They do things real different. They're in a class by themselves, just like New York, and I learned a lot of things about them, sometimes the kids would come in the store and want to steal because they're hungry, and the store would try to put them out and ban them. And before I let the store do that, I'll just pay for the stuff, and let them have it because they're hungry, and this is real life, people, That's what being a public figure is about, So when I used to come out to work, like my boss had told me, he's like, it's crazy because you're like a star out here. How did that happen? And I'm like, it's bound to happen. It's not something that shouldn't have happened, because he didn't know I was a public figure as well. You know what I mean? And as the guy told me in California, you have this aura that attracts the people to you. You know what I mean? So they know that you're going to help them one way or another. And if you can't help them, you're going to lead them somewhere they can. You know, so this is what happened in Baltimore, you know, and I felt the need, you know, to go out into the communities with the people, you know, excuse me, after I started working for Frito, to let them know, even though I don't work for Frito, I'm still here, you know, and I'm out here in the communities. And shout out to Top Shotter. We went out, and I think I talked about this in my last podcast. We set up a day, and we went out and gave away fruit, water, you know, and talked to the people, you know, and just gave them the love, and they showed us the love right back. You know, that was the best day of my life, being out in the community in Baltimore. You know, it's kind of bringing tears to my eyes, y'all, because I'll never forget it. Even though I suffered behind it, because I told y'all I wound up getting sick after that. But it was one of the best days of my life, being able to go out into the community and just chat with the people. And I mean, we was all through. We was on the east west. We was all through Baltimore this particular day, and we was running into people, and people was giving us that love right back. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, who are you? And, you know, what are you doing? You know, we was giving them fruit, you know, and I felt like giving them the fruit was a token of God, because it's God's stuff. You know what I mean? God created this fruit, and gave them a bag of fruit and water, because it was so hot out there, and people was like getting sick and falling out at the bus stops and stuff. And we was just, you know, we had a good time out there in Baltimore, you know what I mean? And that weekend, a lot of people was getting killed that weekend. But we was kind of trying to bring peace to the communities, you know what I mean? And we did, you know, and not only did we bring peace to them, we brought peace to ourselves as well. You know, we met religious figures out there. Y'all see pictures, you know, either on my Facebook, or I think it's a video where the Top Shotter had put together, where we was with religious figures, walking the streets with the religious figures for a while, you know, chatting with them, and they was chatting with us. You know, we just had an overall wonderful day, you know, just out talking to the people about how we can make change, you know. Like I said, the love came right back, you know, and people was like, how did you do that? Go to Baltimore? Why? Those are my people. They the ones who made my paycheck every day for me to live in Harford County. Why wouldn't I go out there and mingle with these people and chat and let them really know me? Why wouldn't I? You know? And then the next day we got up and went out into the communities and, you know, took the kids and decided to clean. You know, I had to walk up into the police station with the kids, you know, and I said, listen, I had all my kids with me and backing me. I said, listen, we getting ready to go clean the community. I just want to let y'all know, you know, that we about to clean the community. And they looking at me like, okay, who the hell are you? You don't need to know who I am, but I'm going to tell you anyway. My name is Jacqueline Richardson, and we're here to clean the community. We letting you know so that way you don't come through with y'all nonsense. Y'all respect us now, you know. And they did, you know. Shout out to Baltimore Police, you know, West Side. They respected us, you know, and we went out into the communities. It was me, Top Shotter, you know, and his wife, I believe, and a lot of the kids in the community, you know, because when the people of the community see that we're doing something positive, they send their kids on too, you know. And they say, hey, I got one for you to get out the house and come out there and do some things. Hold on, you know. And we was waiting for kids. We walking up to the corner, and we waiting for people and teenagers, and they just coming. Every time I look back, my crowd got bigger, you know, and I'm like, oh, geez, we got a lot of them out here. We ain't got enough brooms for all of this, you know? So, you know, we just was trying to clean the community. It was a day of peace, a Sunday. I think it was a Sunday. And we had a day of peace, and we was cleaning the community, and it was a wonderful thing. And the people came out, you know, it was like, oh, some people, you got some people, I was going to get dirty again. And we're like, yeah, we understand. But for right now, this is what we're going to do. You know what I mean? But I'll get a little bit more in depth with that tomorrow, y'all. You know, this is the things that we did. We gather, you know, the community, and we work. We work. You know, we do the same thing here in North Carolina. You know what I mean? Shout out to the, you know, the community activists and the nonprofits that come out and clean the streets. You know, shout out to them here in North Carolina, because they do the same thing as well. You know, we put work in. You know. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Msjjdiamond. Jackie, Dejah, whatever y'all call me. I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.